Well, here we are again. So today we're going to compare the Nissan Fairlady Z version Z432, which is a really rare version of this car. Only around 420 of them were made out of the 500,000 or so Zs of the first generation. So that's a pretty small percentage of the original Gen 1 Z. So the Z, the first originally came out in 1969 and it ran up until 78. But this is supposed to be a 1969 version, the Z432. And those numbers actually mean something. It means 4 valves, 3 carburetors, and 2 camshafts. So it says 432. It's the same engine that was in the Skyline of that time. It's a 2-liter inline 6 making around 160 horsepower. And this was a really expensive car back in that time. It was like twice the cost of a normal Z. Back then it was 1.8 million yen, which in today's money is around $60,000. Part of that expensiveness is it actually rolled on magnesium wheels, which are pretty rare. Okay, so I did look up the dimensions of a 432, and the green car you're looking at does actually seem to be more accurate. Now the only problem is I don't know who made this green car that we're looking at. We'll look at it, each car in detail. I guess I'll start with the first one. It's the white car, which is made by Konami. Okay, so first thing with Konami that I really enjoy is there is suspension. So, but it's a bargain price compared to TLV. Okay, so it has the 432 here printed on the side. Okay, and below it, it says Fairlady Z. There you go. You can see the silver. Okay, the keyhole, the gas cap, the door handle, a little badge there. But this white paint is really done really thick, so it's hard to see some of the panel lines. Okay, I was looking at the wheels of this car, these magnesium wheels. So half of this is correct, same with the other car. In between these spokes right here, it is blanked off on the real car. But on this model, this should be air right here. There should be air running through there. So Konami got lazy. It could have been great. Oh well. But the printing of this blinker or reflector is nice. Just got a front here. There's a little license plate. It's blank though. There's a actual texture here in the grille. And the turn signals, wow, that's nice. I didn't expect that. They're actually translucent orange turn signals. So that's good. And then the headlights, of course, are just clear plastic. Here's the bottom. Let's see when this was made. That's what I like about Konami. This was made in 2004. Okay. And the tires, again, I don't know if these tires are too wide for that era. I'm not sure. Going around to the back, the 432 has 2 vertically stacked muffler exhaust tips, so this is correct. And it has a black back here, so this looks pretty accurate to pictures of the real car. And then you got the nice plastic lenses there. What I don't see, no, that's not printing, but it's a ridge there. Okay, but there's great printing up here. Fairlady Z 432 Nissan. Okay, maybe some vents there. Plastic there. It's just a black and oh, look at that. Yes, I keep forgetting. Konami has black interiors usually, but they do actually have a different colored steering wheel in many of their models, so that's good. And then we have the badge here as well. Okay, so for a diecast metal and painted white, the panel lines actually are looking okay here, except for that gas cap there. It's filled in a lot, but the rest you can see pretty good definition, but you don't see much of the metal underneath. So this is a nice model for sure. Very nice. Now, what made me bring up this comparison is today I bought this thing. It's just in a used pawn shop kind of place. It's plastic. It's super light. So what I was thinking is a gashapon, like one of those capsule toys. So I looked up Furuta, and it's not made by them. And F Toys does make a plastic Z, but it doesn't look like this. The F Toys version has different mirrors, and the F Toys doesn't have a license plate. So it's a complete mystery who makes this, because they don't write the company name on the bottom. They even painted the bottom, the transmission, and the exhaust, so that's really good detail. And the tires are treaded. So I really would love to know who made this, because they probably make a lot of other cool cars. So let's get into this one actually. So it does say 432 and Fairlady Z, just like the Konami. It is plastic, but it does seem to be painted because you can see a little orange peel here. If you look at the reflection, it's a little wrinkly. Okay. Well, we might as well talk about these wheels. So what's inaccurate about these wheels is it should be solid right here when I'm putting the probe. But what I do like about these wheels is they're hollow, like in between the spokes. You see the light of the car behind, right? So I like that. It's more accurate. So, okay. Silver paint on the tiny door handles, very nice. Nice Z badge there. Chrome trim is pretty good. This one's an all black interior. It's molded detail and all, but can't see much. The wiper blades here are actually painted silver, whereas the Konami, they're not. Konami was lazy. They didn't paint their windshield wiper blades. It's physically molded, but they didn't paint it. And actually, while I have both cars up, now, because this is a resin plastic model, look how much tighter the molding is. Look at these ribs. Look how super thin those are. But die-cast, you have to have these giant, childlike spaces. So, plastic is the way to go. It really is if you want fine detail. And I know this should never have paint rash because it's plastic. Whereas the zinc on this is going to start bubbling. It's going to outgas and cause bubbles in the paint later. So I love plastic because you could also ship these for a lot less money. So they should be cheaper to ship around. You could have less expensive packaging because it doesn't have to suffer from the same shock damage because it's a lighter model. It's literally like a third, maybe a quarter of the weight. And it still rolls if that matters to you guys. They both roll actually. The only thing this plastic one is missing is suspension. But I have a suspicion this plastic model is really inexpensive. And so that's fine by me. Okay, so what is different, it has these little bumps which are supposed to indicate mirrors. The mirrors don't seem to be very accurate to the photos of the real car. But this one has nothing, so I think it's better than nothing. Again, nice Z badge there on the front. And it still has plastic inserts there. But the turn signals are painted orange this time. But it does have a license plate that says Fairlady Z. And it does have texture in the grills. So that's pretty good. Okay, this side no problems. And the gas cap cover here is actually fuel filler door, the panel lines look tight because it's plastic. Look how thin those gaps are. That's really great. Alright, so that's really tight. That's more accurate to a real car versus these giant gaps, which if you multiply that by 64, that would be a really big gap in a door. Okay, let's go to the back here where it does fall short. There's no badge printing here, but it might be because there's a wing on here. So the other one didn't have a rear wing, but it does have 432 and I think Fairlady Z. Silver on silver, but it does look like it's printed Fairlady Z and then 432. So then again we got the license plate, plastic inserts, but it falls short. This should be black or really dark on the real car. And then these exhaust tips, they're just not as accurate, the two stacked tips, right? So that's where Konami wins out there on the rear end. This is far more accurate to a photo of a real car. But anyways, if anyone does know who made this green car, please make a comment because I want to search for them and see what else they've made, because this is definitely good enough to be in my collection. Now the question to you guys might be which is better. I'm gonna put them on this little plastic thing, and if you want you could pause and make up your own decisions, although since we don't know who made this, it might be hard for you to find one. So the white car seems to be taller here in the front, right? The grill's higher. White car, let's see. It's the exhaust tip. I can't. They seem fairly similar in their dimensions. Okay, so neither of them are super far off from the original dimensions of the real cars. The height-wise is the same, but the taillights are a little bit different, of course. So Okay, so take what you will from these shots here. And that is it for today's comparison. I'll be seeing you guys around.